and welcome from a very warm, very hot, and humid um, patch in South Carolina. I'm going to show you today how to not break your main vine and how to start guiding your side vines. Here's our plant. Right now it's about 3.5 weeks old, and it's getting to be a pretty nice size. As you can tell here, there's side vines coming out that we now start to guide. Well, let me start up front here with the main vine. Now, oftentimes, your main vine, without the support, will grow upwards, and in some cases, if your nitrogen levels are very high, it will grow really upwards like that. Now, tip number one, do not work with it when it's cold. Always wait for the hottest part of the day, so the vines are nice and flexible and they're not going to break on you. If you do it on a cold morning, you'll snap it right off. Tip number two, when you start burying your vines, do not put huge amounts of dirt right here behind the vine. What it will do is the dirt will actually push the vine downwards here and actually push the tip up, and it will actually cause your main vine to break, your tip to break. So go easy on your dirt. Now, let me show you right here. This is a top leaf node. That's where the dirt, where the root's gonna come out. What I do there is inoculate with a little bit of Micor and just push a little bit of dirt on top to stimulate that root coming out. Now, you can put 10 pounds of dirt on it, but a little bit is enough to make that root come out. If it's rainy and you know it's gonna rain, a little bit more is a good thing. But I don't think there's a need for huge amounts of dirt, and it will put less pressure on your vine. Then another tip: if you use skewers, do not put the skewers too far up front. What this will do, if you pin it down like this, way close to the soil line, is it will put a lot of pressure on this part of the main vine. What will happen is that the plant will grow. This is what is going to wind up, and if it's cold enough and if there's enough nitrogen in your soil, this will snap. So put your skewers a little bit back, leave a little bit of slack in them so there's room for the plant to grow, and just leave it at that. I always leave a foot or a foot and a half of main vine uncovered up front, and this usually does its trick in not breaking the main vine. Then our side vines, as you can tell, this one here is coming out right now. It is not at the point yet where, and this is where you're gonna have to feel, it's not at the point yet where I really can lay it down. So what we do is the same story like we did with laying down the plant. Put a little bit of dirt on underneath to support this side vine, at least the top part of it, or the first part of it. As this grows out, we will able to lay it down to a regular soil level or the regular soil line. And then when we got the dirt under it, we take a skewer or two, and just like we do with the rest of the plant, we force it down a little bit. And this will be a process of probably a day or two. After 2 days from now, it will most probably be long enough. Now, as you can tell, I'm not laying it down completely. It will be too much pressure on the plant. One thing you don't want to do is pressure your plant down. If it doesn't want to go, it doesn't want to go. Plant has a will of its own. Then let me show you on the other side of the plant. Let's walk around. We just groomed. Here's a side vine that is a little bit longer. Right here. Same story. A little bit of dirt underneath to support it. Now this one has a little bit more slack in it, so I can push it down a little bit further, so I can push it down on that soil. Now here on this part, there's going to be a taproot. I'm not going to, because it's not on the soil quite, I'm not going to inoculate it yet. Tomorrow though, when it's a little bit longer, it's an inch or 2 or 3 longer, I will put it down, inoculate it with a mycorrhiza, and move the skewers more forward. And that's basically how we guide our plants. Here's a little vine coming out, and then as we go further, the vines obviously get smaller and smaller. If they're this size, I just use a skewer, put it up against the plant, and obviously we want to move, in this case our plants, we want to move these vines a little bit backwards. We're going to train the vine a little bit to the back of the plant and then curl them forward. So I start when they're young and still pliable, not pushing them down, but push them carefully in the direction where we want to go. As this vine comes out, we'll use skewers like we did here, and we guide them exactly where we want to go. And that's how we train and guide our plants, basically. There's obviously several ways to do this. Another way, and let me pass in front of the camera. Another way to bury your plants is, instead of doing it on top of the soil, what you can do and what some people will do is actually trench it. You could make a little trench and then lay your vine in the trench and then put dirt over it. We choose not to. I mean, it's a way to do it. You can give it a try and see what you like better. Personally, we like this method best. And as far as the inoculant goes, we use just mycorrhiza, but there's growers that use a mix of mycorrhiza, kelp, and fungicides to inoculate their taproots. We spray our fungicides and we drench them. We do not use them in our mix, but I guess give it a try and see what works best for you. This right now it is our 1164, and as you can tell, pretty nice looking plant. The weather has turned very warm, and plants are looking like it. They're enjoying the warm weather. Here's a tendril. Tendrils, you basically got a choice. There are growers that say, I'm going to snip them all off, and what you can do is take a sharp scissor and just snip them off, and that way, like this one here, that will keep the vine a little bit up. You take it off, and now you got more movement, and the tendril will not keep it down. We usually don't take them off unless we really have to. There has been plants where we completely taken them off, every single tendril, but since we're combating disease a little bit, we will leave most of them on, because every opening in the plant is also an opportunity for disease. And once again, that's going to be up to you, your choice as a grower. Anyway, that's how we guide and stake our plant. We'll show you more as the plant grows bigger and as we really get in our daily routine of burying vine. For right now, from a hot and muggy South Carolina, over and out.